everybody, and welcome to Bits of Board, where we're talking board games, miniatures, cards, and dice. My name is Michael, and today we're checking out a game by the name of Mr. Cabbagehead's Garden. I love saying that. What a strange name for a game. Yes, also what a strange looking game it is, but we'll talk about that fairly shortly. For the moment, I'll give you the gist on what this game is, because it's a solo game mostly that popped up on Kickstarter a fair little while ago, and I believe through the stretch goals they unlocked a 2-player variant and a bunch of expansions that come in the box. It's wonderful to see, but it essentially has players drafting cards and placing them in a garden plot so that they can make certain patterns to score them points at the end of the game. It's one of those games where you have a target for points that you may or may not ever achieve, and that's wonderful. This is going to be sort of a playthrough all the way through a game. I'll give you a break after the first third of the game with a timestamp that you can skip to if you just want to see the review side of things, but the full game will be there if you want to take a look through. But yeah, that's all I'll say for the moment. Let's get stuck in. All right, so here are our components for the base game, the solo game, right? We've got our neighbors, garden deck, some on holiday cards. We've got a scoring aid floating around over here. We've got a bee card and some bee tokens which will help us get the vegetables planted that we want. And we have this beautiful Hessian sack that we're going to use to contain all of our neighbor tokens. We, of course, play Vernon Cabbagehead, and we just want to tend to our garden because we really want that blue ribbon at the garden club contest. But our freaking neighbors, they always mess it up for us. Have we got what it takes to take out the #1 spot this year? Let's find out. To set up, we're going to take all of our neighbor tokens and put them in our Hessian bag over here. Give them a bit of a shake. We're going to set up our vegetable deck, dealing out 3 piles of 15 vegetable cards, each on top of one of the on holiday cards. And then we're going to stack these decks on top of each other so that we have evenly spaced holiday cards scattered throughout. Next, we prepare our play area, displaying our neighbors, beehive containing 3 bees, the Nebraska scoring card, and our newly prepared vegetable deck. Now, currently we have 3 bees in our own personal supply, so I'm just going to chuck them over there. But what that means, I'll show you in a sec. With the play area ready to go, and our bag of neighbor tokens, we are ready to go. Gameplay is split into the 3 rounds, each separated by the On Holidays card, and each round is split into 2 phases. The planting phase, where we draw vegetables from the deck and decide how we're going to plant them in our garden, and then the neighbor phase, where one of these guys comes out and ruins our garden. After that final turn, we tally up any points that we've managed to scrape together, and we compare to Nebraska's score layout. All right, guys and gals, let us begin. Yeah. The planting phase is played as such. We're going to draw 3 cards off the top of the deck here. 1, 2, and 3. And then we get to choose one of these cards to place in our very own garden. Now, the placement of these cards is kind of crucial because how they're drawn kind of determines how we can pay for them to get them into our plot. The card on the far left requires us to pay 1 bee to the beehive to take. The card in the middle is simply free to take and place, and then the card at the very end requires us to take a bee token from the beehive and add it into our own supply. Aside from showing off which type of vegetable, the card has a couple of other bits of information. The number in the blue ribbon tells us how many points this vegetable is worth if it can score in the garden. The number at the bottom shows how many of that card are available in the deck. The other 2 numbers, the black fence and the white circle, are not super important right now, so I'll show them off in just a sec. For the moment, let's decide which of these vegetables we want to plant. Simply having a look at victory points and rarity, I'm thinking I'm going to take a salsify because I get to take a bee and plant some veggies. Now, not only bees are kind of currency in this game, but if you happen to have all 6 bees in your personal supply at the end of the game, can net you a lot of points. So let's start strong. We'll take a bee and we will plant our salsify. Ah, the garden. Isn't it a beautiful sight? All right, honestly, not much going on here at the moment. We're going to place our salsify card. It's planted, it's in the ground, we are all good. Right now, with only one vegetable in our garden, we don't really have to make any strong decisions on its actual placement, but it is worth noting that our garden can only be 6 across by 3 down. We don't have to lock anything in just yet, but we'll have to keep an eye on it as the game continues. Now, before we go back and continue with the planting phase, let's have a quick word about scoring, because we should probably talk about that. Vegetables can score in one or more ways. The most basic way for a vegetable to score is to plant it in the garden and have it sitting next to an identical vegetable, whether adjacent above, below, left, or right to the card, so orthogonally adjacent. If this salsify was sitting next to another salsify, they would both score me 7 points apiece at the end of the game. Now that way's easy, but there are a bunch of other ways we can score that kind of complicate the system. See, at the end of the game, when our garden is judged, we can gain bonus points through awards of merit, which reward exceptional planning in the planting stage. If we happen to have 4 vegetables in each of the 4 corners of our garden, we gain the 4 corners bonus and gain 12 points. If on the far left and far right hand side of our plot we have 3 identical vegetables planted directly in a line, we gain the avenue, 14 points. If we're able to get vegetables planted as such, we have 2 at the top of the left 2 columns, 2 in the middle 2 columns at the bottom, and 2 in the right 2 columns at the top, we are going to gain the promenade, and the same is true for the inverse. The next award of merit is called the monopoly, where we would have at least 5 vegetables of one type, and there are bonus points if they're adjacent. The bee's knees, yes, this is what I was talking about before. If we happen to have all 6 bees in our supply, 6 points. The final 2 awards of merit are the mixed plot, which grants a whopping 30 points. Each row has exactly 3 types of vegetables in it, and each type of vegetable is present in only one row. And finally, the bounty. This is awarded if you have 6 different vegetables in a single row. So, it's not quite that simple, hey? All right, back into the planting phase. We've chosen our vegetable to plant. What do we do with the rest? Well, we're going to take a look at the numbers sitting in front of the black fence icon. We identify the card with the highest number, and then we draw a number of tokens from our neighbor bag here, depending on the number shown in the white icon. In this case, it's a 1, so I'm going to draw 1 from the bag here, and it is going to be, Lord Carrot Body. I take this token, pop it on his neighbor card, and we are good to clean up. The last step is to discard the remaining 2 vegetables. 1 down, a bunch to go. Let's continue. We draw our next 3 cards: a rutabaga, a lettuce, and a second rutabaga. Now we've already had 1 rutabaga come out, so this would represent a full half of its availability. Do we want to invest in rutabaga, or do we want to get a lettuce onto the table? Yeah, I think it's time for a lettuce. Remembering the middle one costs us nothing, we're going to take that and pop it into our garden. Now, placing a second vegetable, we do not actually have to place adjacent to any previous placed vegetables. We could go ahead and now say that this is the top left corner and this one is going to be the top right corner. But for simplicity's sake, and to show you guys I am nowhere near an expert at this game yet, I'm going to place right next to the salsify here, and I'm hoping we can get a row of 6 different vegetables to score the bounty. Back over we go. We look at the card with the highest fence number. The rutabaga on the right has 85, which means we are going to be drawing 2 neighbor tokens. Our first one is going to be Sally Tomiatus, and we've got, Mayor of Onion Town. Let's keep it going. 1, a pepper. 2, a carrot. 3, a second salsify. Awesome. I think I want that salsify. So I'm going to take a B because it's in the take a B column. I'm going to place the B in my supply and plant this sucker right on top of the salsify. We return over here. The carrot has the highest number, so it's going to be 1 more neighbor token placed. Head to the bag, and we have, who is this? Horace Savoy Brassica. It's an even spread across the neighbors. That's pretty cool. Next three. Lettuce, radish, rutabaga. I don't want that rutabaga. I'm considering the radish, but that lettuce would be nice. Oof. Look, I'm thinking the lettuce, but I don't really want to pay a B. There's plenty of time. Let's put the B out like that. Take the lettuce. Now I could choose to place the lettuce down below here, but that would lock me into the 3 height, and I'm still kind of after a bit of flexibility. So let's go up top like that. Back we go. The rutabaga has the highest number, which means 1 more token drawn. And we have Horace Savoy Brassica. 3 more. 1 radish, 2 pumpkin, and a carrot. Now, carrots are a really interesting one. As you can see here, there are 9 of these floating around in the deck, and I think we've seen 1 or 2 come out so far. So if we wanted, we could try and make a start on the Monopoly. We'd be able to take a B as well. Look, let's play it safe. We'll grab the carrot and a B. Haha. Again, I don't really want to lock into anything, so let's put the carrot out like that. We are halfway there to the bounty. Radish has the highest number, so we're drawing 3 neighbor tokens. Number 1, Horace. Number 2, Sally. And number 3 is going to be... Sally again. We discard those 2 and check it out. We are now on holiday and the neighbors come out to play. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we have absolutely struck out here. Usually when we hit the neighbor phase, the neighbor with the most tokens on their card is going to activate, usually stealing vegetables from your plot. But in the event that 2 or more neighbors are tied with the number of tokens, they're too busy gossiping to even worry about my plot. And the neighbor phase is over. Now, just to show you what sort of trouble we would be in if either of these 2 came out with the most tokens. Horace Savoy Brassica is jealous of Mr. Cabbagehead and his award-winning garden, not to mention annoyed at Mr. Cabbagehead's romancing of Horace's half-sister Eudora, president of the garden club. He will always remove 1 vegetable, the one with the highest vegetable number, from the type that your garden plot has the most of. If there is a tie for the most, he will take the one with the highest point value. So he is kind of brutal. What about Sally? Sally Tomiatus is not very picky. She will always take the vegetable with the lowest vegetable number. Had Horace made it into my garden, this salsify would have been gone, and with it all my hopes and dreams. Had Sally made it, this salsify would have gone. So, yeah. Super lucky. All right, with that first round over, we take back all of the neighbor tokens, placing them back in our little Hessian bag, and hopefully we get as lucky as that next time we're around. All right, guys, here we are at the end of the first round. If you want to skip over to the review, there's a timestamp floating around somewhere around here. Head to that location and you can check out the review, but I warn you, you will miss some extreme vegetable planting. Tell you what, those of you that are excited to watch the rest of the playthrough, have no fear. This next section is just for you. We now remove the on holiday card and we get back into the swing of things. 3 more cards. Lettuce, radish, and pumpkin this time. Pumpkin scores well, but I wouldn't mind a radish. Oof, I'm not sure. Let's get that last B and snake that pumpkin. Awesome. We head over to the plot, and I'm thinking the pumpkin is going to go next to the salsify here. We were so close to losing either one of those, and we've still got 2 neighbor phases to go. I don't like the chances of us keeping these together to get the avenue scoring, so let's just carry on. 2 neighbors are coming out, the first of which is going to be Lord Carrot Body, the second of which going to be, who we got? Horace again. We discard these 2. And draw 3 more for the next round. Now check this out. Let's say I really wanted this turnip over here. Well, guess what? I can't take it because there are no bees left in the beehive. and I need to be able to take a B to get this right-hand column. Look, the beans are new, they haven't been out before, so I'm thinking I will pay a B, not just to be able to take these beans, like that's great, but it does make sure that next round I will be able to take the far right card if I really need it. Beans are down, 3 neighbor tokens to be drawn. The first is Mayor of Onion Town. The second is another Mayor of Onion Town, and the third is going to be, what do we got? Horace. We discard, draw 3 more, turnip, pumpkin, and lettuce. Look, I think I'd prefer to get my second pumpkin out onto the board rather than investing any more in the lettuce. So let's take the freebie today. Again, keeping things pretty simple, we drop the pumpkin off, and we're drawing 1 neighbor token here. Who's it going to be? Mayor of Onion Town. We discard those 2, draw 3 more, beans, radish, carrot. Is it time to start worrying about the carrot? Geez, this is a tough one, guys. We might have to go for all out points here. Although we could take that radish now and hopefully secure us the bounty. Oh, I think I still want points. Oh, this is bad. Okay, let's take the beans. It is going to cost us 1 B. Let's drop that bean down. 2 more neighbors coming out. First is Tomatus and Lord Carrot Body. We discard those 2. 3 more coming out. Lettuce, turnip, and carrot. You know what? I think I want the turnip. I reckon we're going to have too much of a hard time getting the avenue. Yeah, turnip for free. Let's do it. And here I'm locking in our 6 card width. Good news though, at least for the moment, we've managed to get the bounty. 6 different vegetables planted in a single row. Awesome. With the lettuce and carrot left, we're going to be drawing a single neighbor token. Let's see who it's going to be. Come on, anything to tie it up. Uh-oh, Sally Tomiutus. That means, guys and gals, the Mayor of Onion Town is going to be busting in on our garden. Let's take a look what that means for us. The Mayor of Onion Town only loves turnips, salsify, and radishes. He will always choose to take 1 turnip, salsify, or radish with the highest vegetable number. If there are none of these in the garden, there is no effect. All right, well, he's definitely taking something. We have salsify and we have turnips, no radishes, so he's going to take the one with the highest vegetable number, and that is our newly planted turnip. What a shame. That card gets discarded, and Mr. Cabbagehead is not happy. Again, we take all of those neighbor tokens, add them back into the bag, give it a shuffle, and we continue for our very last round. 1, 2. Look, I think there's more chance that we're going to be able to score a pepper than a rutabaga at this point. And I kind of want one of my bees back, so we're going to take the pepper, grab a bee, and we're going to plant it back where we had our turnip. The bounty is back. 2 neighbor tokens coming out. Here we go. Number 1 is Tommy, or Sally, and the Mayor of Onion Town again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now we're talking more peppers. Or we could go all in on beans. That will net us another 6 points, but I think we should diversify with the peppers. I'm going to take the middle one for free. Again, planting on top here. 1 more neighbor coming out. Grab the bag, bring them out. Who we got? Mayor of Onion Town. Oh no! All right. 1, 2, 3. Peppers, pumpkins, and carrots. At this point, I'm thinking I'd like to take the carrot so we can definitely secure the bounty. I get to take a B token. We're getting pretty close to the end here. All right, second thoughts are a killer. Take the pumpkin, and we're going to lock in our height here. 1 neighbor token coming out, and it's going to be Sally again. 3 more cards. Carrot, carrot, salsify. Yeah, let's do it. We take a B, grab the salsify. Planting for straight up points here, guys. This carrot here gives us 1 more neighbor token. It's going to be Sally, no. And the last 3 cards. Pepper, rutabaga, And beans, no more carrots. What have I done? Well, I can't take the beans, and I don't want to spend a B on the pepper, so I guess I'm taking that rutabaga. I'll drop that in the top up there, just so I'm covering my bases on the bounty. One more neighbor token. Come on, Mayor of Onion Town, let's do this. Even it up for me, come on. No, Horace is out there. So that means Sally is going to be our intruding neighbor. Again, she's not very picky, and we'll take the vegetable with the lowest vegetable number. Oh, god damn it. She's taking my salsify. What? With that though, the game is over, and it is time to finally score up. We grab Eudora, and let's see how we go here. Firstly, we will score our vegetables. Anything adjacent to an identical vegetable will score. So I think we're doing pretty well here. 8 points for our peppers, 12 more points for our beans, 18 points for our pumpkins, 14 points for our salsify, 10 points for our lettuces. But unfortunately, the rutabaga and carrot do not score. So far, we are sitting on 62 points. Next up, we're scoring awards of merit, and I didn't do amazingly here. I didn't get the avenue like I wanted, but it might have been possible had I made different decisions throughout. Let's go through the awards of merit. Did I get the four corners? No. Did I get the avenue? No. Did I get the promenade? I did not, unfortunately. How did we go with the Monopoly? Did I get 5 cards of any type? No, I did not. This is terrible. That's okay. 6 points for the bee's knees. That's a good start. The mixed plot? Nope. The bounty? Yes. So another 18 points gives us a grand total of 80. Bang, smack in the middle there. 76 to 100 points, that's the bracket that we're in today, gains us the yellow ribbon and a cordial applause. Thank you, thank you. We were so far away for that blue ribbon here. You know what it was? It was a lack of awards of merit. I was too busy going out for normal points not to try something far out and get something cool with these guys. How very disappointing. I'm gonna have to play again. And that's pretty much how it goes. You play a game, usually it lasts about 20 minutes tops, and then you're like, wow, I sucked. Let's play again. And you do that 5 or 6 times, and then, it's time to go to bed. Anyway, before we round out this whole thing, I just wanted to show off what Lord Carrot Body was all about, because we saw him, but we didn't actually get to see him in action. He'll take the vegetable with the highest vegetable number adjacent to a carrot. And if there aren't any carrots in the garden, or no carrots are adjacent to any other vegetables, he'll just take the vegetable with the highest vegetable number, full stop. So he's pretty full on. But while those 4 neighbors are good, I don't think they'd provide enough variable gameplay to last the long term. Fortunately, this game comes with a ton of other neighbors. Well, actually, the grasshopper isn't technically a neighbor. He's one of the expansions that comes in this game. These guys kind of head out and infest the garden and reduce any vegetables planted in their spaces. Romancing Eudora is another expansion which introduces roses into the vegetable deck, which can be planted immediately, but they're a lot harder to keep in the game. Good news is, if you do, they're worth an extra 5 victory points at the end of the game. Guys and gals, there we have it, our playthrough for Mr. Cabbagehead's garden. And I did better than I thought, although I didn't play as excitingly as I'd hoped. But honestly, I think you got to play it a little bit safe when you're on the camera. What do I want to say about it? It's a gorgeous game. The artwork, the production of this thing is just insane. We've got those linen style tokens, linen finish on the cards. It feels great. It looks beautiful, but the artwork is scary. I mean, okay, the artwork of the vegetables, gorgeous, beautiful artwork. But the neighbors, oh my god, they are nightmare-inducing. This is not a game for children based entirely on those neighbors. I don't want to see Mayor of Onion Town and his big onion body. Oh my goodness. And it just gets worse with those little expansion guys, far out. So yeah, for a solo game, I think it provides a lot of challenge and a lot of replayability, especially with those neighbors, because honestly, you don't know how each round is going to end, and I think I found there is a bit of a strategy in determining how many tokens you draw, so you can try and even up those tokens on the neighbor cards so that they don't come visit. Because ideally, I reckon to get the 120 odd points that you need, you cannot have a single neighbor visit, and so there's got to be a strategy in there somewhere. I'm still looking, but I think I'm getting closer. Just like all solo games, I believe to count it as a success, it needs to get you back into the game as quick as possible. And with a 10-minute or so game time and that slightly out of reach blue ribbon, you are going to be playing that game multiple times per session. Pour yourself a glass of wine, boil the jug for a cup of tea, whatever you want to do this evening. Get that deck on the table and start playing. And because while there's this insane planning element, you've got to strategize exactly where you're placing all of your vegetables, it's so chill, it's so relaxing that you can just kind of kick back and enjoy yourself. Really big fan of this. Definitely up there with my favorite solo games. This and Coffee Roasters, I believe, are just through the roof for me right now. But I will admit, I don't actually own this game. I didn't back it at Kickstarter because my mate Marcus, he was getting it, and I was like, yeah, he can get it, I'll play his copy, that's fine. And now that he has it and I don't, I'm insanely jealous, so I'm trying to keep my eyes out for a copy. Actually, that said, a big thank you to Marcus at Boredom Games. They don't sell this game, it's out of print. Oh, it's out of print. Yeah, sorry. I don't really like to show off games that are out of print because you can't pick them up, but it's out of print and I'm sorry. They might do another reprint, but I don't think there's any word of it. Yeah, for the moment, I think you're gonna have to stick with my playthrough. Anyway, I enjoy it. As a solo game, it is challenging, fast, and chill, and they are my 3 absolute requirements when playing solo. So yeah, I'll probably shut up now and let you get on with whatever your day is all about. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more content of random games like this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and do all the things that you guys can do to help this channel grow. But other than that, we are done. So as always, guys and gals, my name is Michael. This is Bits of Board. We'll catch you next time.